Okay, so our next topic is maintaining a team. So Brian and I get asked these questions sometimes because both of us have basically built companies, built teams. And question number one is describe how you keep your real estate team productive and morale high.
Well, we employ beer. I'm, just a quick
Step
plug.
number one, get a beer sponsor.
Just a quick plug there for East Brothers Beer. No, we don't actually use beer or anything like that. The question again is how do you maintain the morale, right?
Yeah. How do you keep your real estate team productive and morale high?
Well, it's very important to lead by example, in my opinion, right? And I think you do the same thing, where a lot of leaders in a business will more or less kind of never show up to work, delegate a lot of the work to everybody else, and then half the time they're off golfing. So I think to keep the team productive, you kind of have to be able to outline a set of tasks that the rest of the team can do. They kind of trickle back up, but also involve you as the leader to keep things going and leading by example.
Yeah, I think what you're explaining there is culture, right? Culture comes from top down. And if you are the CEO, the founder of a company or business, I mean, you literally set the culture. And if your culture is working hard, being productive, coming in with high morale every single day, your employees feed off of that. Assistants, helpers, even vendors and people that you work with that simply maybe come in to visit you or pick up a check or whatever, they feed off that energy. So I think it starts from top down.
Right. And just kind of segueing off of that, when a lot of times when you're leading a team, a lot of times people think that being the leader involves just barking out a lot of commands and things like that. But literally, being a leader half the time is serving the people or serving the rest of the team. So
You literally work for the employees. I mean, that's literally what you're doing as a top leader. And one of the things that I've always tried to do in my business is really look at everyone that works for me and how can I help them improve? How can I help them get to goals where they want to be at? Right? It's not just about me because the more I help other people get
the
to
more efficient
levels,
you become.
the more efficient, the more they work, and then at the end of the day, you never know where that leads.
Right.
They may end up starting the business that supplements your business, or they may start a business, you partner up with them, or even invest in their company. There's a lot of different opportunities that come into play, which, going to the next question, how do you deal with a long-time, well-liked, or valued team member leaving the company?
Well, it really depends on how the valued team member leaves the company. So I've had the fortune of having people stay with me for like 10 years, 15 years, 19 years, and a lot of the times whenever somebody does leave, they've been here in excess of like 10 years. So like recently we just had a broker leave who's been with me for over 10 years, and he started his own company, and so it was sad to see him go because we were close, but at the same time we threw him a party, wished him well, and and everything goes well, and at the same time. Conversely, he was very upfront about it. He knew what was going on. There was no underhandedness to it that would indicate that he was stealing proprietary information or trying to take clients away, which again just kind of leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth, whether I'm trying to steal his clients or he's trying to steal mine. And so again, it all depends on how they left. If it was under the cover of night and there was a lot of suspicion, it could be very different from having it all up front and just kind of saying your goodbyes nicely and peacefully.
I think the more you support your employees, the staff, the agents that work for your company, the more you support them in what they want to do, you're naturally going to have some of them, including some of the top people that work for you, go leave and start their own thing, work for a different company. But you never want to burn bridges. You always want to keep those bridges connected because you never know when they come back and say, hey, I've got a great referral, something to help out the business. And those connections really matter. I mean, if you look at old business is all networking, it's all connections, it's who you know. And if you're curating within your own company and business, if you're curating a lot of people that eventually go out into the world, they leave your company, but they use your company as a stepping stone for other big places, all of a sudden you start developing a big network of people that are still loyal to you because they appreciate that. I had back in the REOs, I had one of my BPO analysts basically use the job to then take it as a stepping stone to BlackRock.
Wow,
You know,
nice. Yeah,
and so now I've got a connection to BlackRock, right?
yeah,
And you always want to support people because at the end of the day, they at some point will want to return the favor and help you out.
yeah. And usually, like again, when you've got a client and there's a specific listing and you have this long-term relationship and everything went well, it's usually a good segue into getting your offer accepted above everybody else. Um, and sometimes these past employees do come back. I've actually had people leave, start their own company, and then after like 6 years of running their own company, they're like, hey, can we come back? And they did. And it's all honky dory. So I've actually had that opportunity where some have left, and like you said, we're collaborating on other things. Some have left and come back. And I've also had the negative side where I've had people leave and then they left such a negative taste in my mouth. At which point I literally just cut them off and don't answer calls and I'm doing push-ups or something instead while they're calling.